Hello my viewers and welcome to this lesson in Autodesk Advance Steel. In this lesson, I just want to teach you on how you can, how you can model a warehouse or a portal frame in Advance Steel. So as you can see from here, this is what you are going to create. You see that you have the connections there, you have the sheeting on top there. In Advance Steel, we call it the cladding. Okay, that's what it's called. So if I just orbit here, you see that we have the Purlins and all these connections that you are seeing right here. Okay, so this is what we are going to create in this one lesson. So make sure that you watch this lesson from start to finish. Okay, and I just want to ask all of you to make sure that if you like what I'm doing on this channel, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and make sure that you like the videos. Don't just watch, make sure that you like the videos. And for anyone who would like to learn other, softwares like Revit Structure, Revit Architecture, and Robot Structure Analysis, I have some courses which I've developed, okay, explaining step by step. Make sure that you check the links in the description and also the first comment. Check it out, you might be interested, okay? So let me not waste much of your time. Let me get started in this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing that I'll start with is to create a new project. I'll just click on new drawing, okay? Then what I'm going to do is to simply go to, to the file there, then go to new and click on drawing. Once you do that, see that for you, you may just have one template here. For me, I've just, customized these templates just in terms of color. So even if you are using the default template, that shouldn't be a problem. So I'll just pick that one and click on open. Right. So you see that we have the UCS, that is the coordinate. I just want to verify that it's at the origin. So I'll just type UCS and enter from my keyboard. See that it can move like that. Then I'll type 0, 0, 0 and enter. Okay. Then I can simply click once there and make sure Z is upward. As you can see, my UCS is right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this tool called the portal or the gable. You find it under the home or under the extended modeling. It can still be found right there under extended modeling. So I'll simply click on it and you can see that I want to start my first column at 0, 0. So 0, 0, 0, enter. You see that that is the origin. It starts from there. Then the height for my column, I want to have 6 meters. Enter from my keyboard. And I just want, to specify, the slope for my roof. So I'll click on tab. You see, I can specify it in terms of the actual distance, or if I just press tab once again, I go to the angle and I'm just going to specify the 12 there and enter from my keyboard. Okay, so right away, you see that we have the portal frame there, just like that. Then we have the properties. Of course, we want a portal frame. If I check there, I can switch to gable. See that I'm just going to have some members in between there. But what I want is just like that, a portal frame. Then go to set out and the span of this one, I just want to have 10 meters. Okay, and I'm using millimeters. Then click anywhere else. You see that it's going to expand. Okay. You can see that from here, if I want to change the angle, you see type of angle is the degree. If I want to have maybe 10 degrees, I can just click outside there. After I place the number, type the number there, the angle, then just click in any of the other boxes. You see that it's going to adjust. Okay, so here, these are the only things I'm going to change from here. I'll just go to the sections. Okay, make sure that columns are equal because I just want to change one. The other one will automatically update. So I'll need to go to the database here, the column size. I just click there, the first arrow. I don't want to use the beam. I want to use the universal column right here. Then the second arrow there, I can pick now the actual member that I want to use. I want to use this one, 305, 305, 137. You can see it's selected right there. So the other one is automatically picked. Then I'll go to the rafter. Then for this one, I'm just going to use the universal beam. That's okay. Then the second one, I just want to change it maybe to a 254 by 146 by 37. Select on it. Okay. Then I'm not going to change the projection. You can see from here if you want the rafter to project. but I'm okay with what I have. If I check the other one, I'll just leave the middle. I'm okay with my frame there and simply close it. So you see that we have the first one, as you can see. Now, before I start copying this one, I want to create all the connections and also the base right there. So I'll just, find the line command there and just click on line there. Then I'll zoom in and hold shift, right click, then pick the node and simply pick that node. And I just want to go down by 800. Okay, then enter. Okay, then right click and cancel. I just want to now, create a concrete column going down there. So what I'm going to do, I'll simply, I'm still under the home tab there. Okay, I'm looking for the concrete column. Actually, I'll go to objects, then I have the column right there, concrete column. I'll select on it. Okay, you see that I'm able to pick that one there. You see that I have my my column right there. But what I'm going to do, I'll simply close it, select the column, and I just want to drag it maybe up to up to the base right there. So I'll select on that and make sure that I pick the base. I can right click, hold the shift, then right click, then pick the node and make sure that the node is picked. Then you can see that it's going to snap at the bottom right there. Then if I just double click on this column, I can click there. You see we have, these are the properties for this column. It's a concrete column. So we have the section, we have the positioning. I'll just position it at the center there. I don't need to rotate it because the square, you see that if I rotate, I'm able to use this to rotate. But I'll just leave it like that because it's going to be a square column. Then the naming, I'm more interested in the model row. The model row is the one which helps you to categorize your members. So column is okay. These others, I don't mind. I'll leave them, but I'll go back to section and change this one. Okay, change this one to 50. Make sure that you leave out the error. Just put a 5 there to 50 by 50. These are centimeters. So I'll have a 50 by 50 and just enter from my keyboard. Then cancel. You see that I have that column. Okay, then let me also change, create my base there, which is the pad foundation. So let me just go to, to the isolated footing. Then what I'm going to do, I hold the shift, right click and pick the node so that I'm able to pick that node. You see that it's going to jump on top, but I'll move it down. So for this one, I just want to have the length, maybe let me say at 2500. Okay, then the width I just want to have 1700. Okay, then the thickness, I think it's okay. Let me just reduce this one to 2200. Okay, the thickness is okay. Then I can even close it. You see, you can specify the concrete grade, the positioning, middle. If you want to rotate, you can use that one, but I'll leave it where it is. So I'll close this one. Then I'll simply select on it and simply I'm just going to move it down. Then M on my keyboard, enter for move. Then let me simply hold the shift, right click and pick the node and make sure that I pick that point. And from here again, I need to, you see that I'm able to move it, but again, hold shift, right click. I want to pick the node down there. And before I do that, I need to activate this one here. Okay, so that it moves in one direction and simply pick that. You can see that it's right there. Okay, so I have the concrete elements right there. So what I'm going to do is to simply copy these two. Okay, I'll simply click once, then select, then CO on your keyboard, enter, and I just want to copy it from that point and take it up to the end there, up to that point. As you can see, I have those two. Okay, so we are happy with what we have, the frame. The next one is to have the the connections. We need the base plate right here. So I'll go to these tools right here. See that I'm able to move it like that, and let me just simply make it bigger like that. Then the tools, I'll simply go to to where we have the tools under the connection vote. Okay, I'll simply click there, the connection vote. Now I just want to show you that to tell you that if I go under extended modeling, I have the connection vote right there. I can click, it will disappear there. If I click once again, it will come back here. If I can remove it like that and simply place it like that. So I like putting everything here so that I can easily access the tools that I want instead of going back there. So I have my connection vote there. I'll click there. Then I'll simply place it here. Okay. Then I'll go to the first one like that. Then we have the base plate. Select on the base plate. You see that if I expand that one, I'm able to see what I want to use, but I'll all the same close it because I know what I want. So I'll select on it. Then I'll select the column. Okay. Then do you want to select additional component? No. Okay. All right, let me wait for it. You see that I have my base plate right there. As you can see, you can zoom in. Okay. Now from here, we have the properties. I can go to the library and the join design, but I'll simply go to the base plate. I show you that everything is okay from what I'm seeing, but I can check this, the settings here. Maybe if I want to change the thickness to 20, I can do that. Then the set out is from the center. You see, that's how I was able to place that base plate. That's okay. I'll just go to just things which are necessary because everything is okay here. Then dimensions, you can see projections equal to 250. It's okay. I don't want to change anything. No plate corners, no washers, no stiffeners. Okay, I just want to go to I just want to check, those bolts there. Under the base plate, that's where under the base plate, I can go to the anchors and hose. Okay, right here, just want to make sure that it's 20 millimeters. These are holding down bolts and just want to check to 8.8, not with washers. Okay, so I've just changed the things which I feel are necessary for me. I'll simply close this one. Okay, then if I try to orbit, you see that I have everything as you can see from here. Okay. Later on, I'll change the color for that so that you see how it's going to change. Now, what I'm going to do is to simply copy this one. Then I'll close this one. Again, I've already put the tool here. I'll simply go to, to the tools there. Then simply click there, and I just want to use that tool. Just want to copy that connection to the other one. I'll go to joint copy multiple. I'll select on it. Then I'll select just one member within the connection and enter. Then I'll go on the other one and pick the column and right click. You see that I have the connection right there. Okay. Now let me go to this connection there. Again, I'll simply close this one, drag this one here, and I'll go to the connection vote once again. Then this one is the haunch. If I go to this one, this is column beam, and of course we have the column and the beam, and the first one we want is this one. If I just expand this one, you can see that that's what we want. Okay, so I'll select on that. I'll select the column, right click, select the beam, right click, then wait for it. You see that it's going to load that connection. You see that if I orbit, I have that connection. Now it's just a matter of trying to change the properties here. Okay, let me just do this. You see what we have here. Okay, this is just a starting point. So all you need to do, okay, before I do that, let me simply close this one and drag it right here. Then all I need to do is simply go to the general there, then haunch rafter. I'm happy with all these. Then length from end plate face, meaning that I want to start changing the haunch. If I want, you can see the numbers. This is 1, 2, number 3, so on. If I want this one to be longer, for example, 500, okay, just click. You can see that the haunch would expand like that. Then if I want this one to be 100 for the haunch, click anywhere else. You see that the haunch will be like that. So you are going to change all these according to your design. Okay, assuming that you have already designed, then this thing should be easy for you. Okay, so just use those parameters right there. So I'll go to after the haunch. The haunch is okay for me. Additional plate, I don't need additional plate. Additional rafter, I don't need that. Then the end plate, from here, the thickness you can change. If I want a 16 or a 25, I can still do that. Click anywhere else, as you can see. Then the length, as you can see from here, we have the 3 for the length. I just orbit it like that. I can go to this length if I want to have maybe 350. Okay, then click somewhere else. See that it's going to adjust. So I'll leave it the way it is. Now you see from here, we have an issue here. So I need to increase this plate. So maybe 400. Just click outside so that it's able to cover up that one. So once I change this one, I can even go back to the haunch there and change the depth a bit, maybe to 120, hoping that it will be enough. Okay, as you can see, that's okay. Then I'll go back to the end plate. Okay, as you can see, it looks good. Just want to move this one. This column later on will be extended up a bit, so you don't have to worry. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, you see that the width is okay for this one. I don't need to change the width, it's just fine. Okay, then I'll simply go to bots and weld. From here, you can see that everything is okay. So I'll go to end plate. Already I've changed here, then bots and welds. So for the bots, the diameter is okay and the grade is still fine. I'll leave it there. The horizontal distance from here, if I want, I can change. If I take it to 100, click somewhere else, you see that it can move up and down under the boards. Okay, so everything is okay here. Then the body groups, you see that within the first one we have 2, within the second one we have 1. You see that if I put 2 boards there, then click somewhere else, see that this is how you edit. But I just need 1 board there and that one the way it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to change the start distance. So if I put this one to 70 and just click somewhere else, you see that it's going to move up. Then I just want to increase this distance so that this one can go down a bit. But before I do that, let me have 100 there for the spacing in between. Actually, I can even go to 120. The other one will simply go down like that, and you see that everything is okay. Okay, I can go ahead and change a lot of things there, but I'm happy with the connection. So what I'm going to do is to simply copy this connection there. Okay, I'll go back to that tool there and use that tool, joint copy multiple, select on it. Then I'll just pick one member within there, then right click. Then I'll need to start with the column, right click, and the beam or the rafter, right click, and you see that you have, that connection. Okay, but I'm not happy with how that is protruding, so let me just change it a bit. Okay, I'll double click on that connection, that box, that joint box. Okay, once you open that joint box, make sure that you go to general and you go to, let's try the couplet. From the couplet, if you want to have a slope there, you can simply activate it like that. So that's okay. Then let me simply go to the end plate, and you see that we have the projection top. Let me reduce this one to 5 and just click somewhere else. You see that it's going to move. Okay, if you want, you can even put a 0 there and click somewhere else. You see that it's going to flash, and this is what I want because it was so ugly in the first place. Okay, here again I can move this one up a bit. I'll need to go to the boards. Okay, then I need to go to, let me first go to the properties, then go to the general. Okay, then bots and welds. You see that you can change the bot group. Under the bot group, then let me simply reduce this one to 110. Okay, then click somewhere else. You see that it has moved up. So I think I'm happy with this one. I'll close this one. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I should have used this too so that it updates automatically, but what I'm going to do is select a part within the connection and delete, then the connection will be deleted. Okay, then this time I'm going to use this one so that if that joint changes, then even the other one changes. I'll pick that tool there and just pick one member, one component within the connection, right click. Then I'll pick the column, right click, and the beam, right click. You see that I have my, my connection right there. The advantage of using this one is that once I change any parameters or properties on this one, then this one also updates automatically, and all other connections can update as long as you've copied the same connection. So let's do the last one here. I'll just close this one, then go to connection vote. For this one, if I just click this one, this is beam end to end. You can see from here that is the one I want. So I'll select on it, then select, right click, pick that one, right click. You see that I'm going to have the connection right there. As you can see, I have the connection for this one. Let me simply, it looks okay. All I want to move are just the boards there. So again, I'll go to general. You know, these properties under the connections are almost the same. The thickness, I'll leave it. Really, I just want to change the boards. So I'll simply go to the boards because everything looks okay. So I'll go to the box, 20 is okay, and 8.8. Then I'll go to the board group so that I can move these boards, okay? So what I'm going to use, we have two down and 2 up. If I want, I can have 3 on top there and simply 1 down here, okay? Then click somewhere else, so we have 3. Then I'm just going to change the intermediate distance. Maybe let me change it to 80 so that I can have these things fitting here. Okay, if I want, I can even reduce it to 70. Want to create some enough space here. Then simply move the next one so that it goes down maybe to 110. And you see that if I just click somewhere else to move slowly, I mean it will move a bit. So I'll change this one once again to 80. Just click like that. Okay, now these are okay for me. I just have to move this one. Let me say 120. Then just click. So this is what you are going to use for you to move these. So I'm happy with what I have now. Just under the board groups, the rest are the same. I'll simply minimize this one and you see that I have my connection. So you see that we have those connections there, this one and this one, and the base plate. So at this time now, we just have to copy this frame. Okay, so we need about 3 of these. Again, if I want, I can just simply select all these and use the normal copy here on my keyboard, but I just want to use a dedicated tool in Adavance, which is used for copying. So this tool is found under the, you know, I'll simply go to, let me go to this one. Okay, then under that tool there, under the tools, make sure that you go to transform element, select on it. Then once we're under the transform elements, make sure that you start with select the elements. I'm going to select everything here, then right click. You see that 128 elements have been selected. Then I'll add include additional connections so that I'll copy everything, including the connections. Once you do that, make sure that you check the copy. Okay, so copy is checked. Then you have to check the coordinate or the UCS. I want to copy this in the X direction, which is a positive direction. So I'll need to go to X and I want this to be at 5 meters and I just want to have 3 copies. This is the number of copies. And before I apply this, let me just go to the preview so that I see what I'm going to get. So that is the preview that I have. So these are the copies that I need. So I'm happy with it and I just need to click on OK to apply these settings. Then I'll minimize this one and simply place it right there. So as you can see, I have all these, everything looks perfect. Now let me just hide, you know, these joint boxes and for the group so that I'm able to see everything properly. So what I'm going to do is to simply go to Advance to Palette. Okay, I'll drag it somewhere here and I'll simply click there. I'll start with the joint boxes. It's going to select all the joint boxes as you can see under the selection filter. Then go to the next tool, which is called Quick Views, and under the Quick Views you see that you have selected objects off. I can select on that and you see that everything, you know, is hidden like that because I just want to view it properly. Okay, then just minimize. Okay, the next one that I want to do is the Purlins on top there. So what I'm going to do is I just need to make sure that, let me, instead of using the standard, just want to change this one to the code rod. Just want to change the layer to code rod so that I can have a different color for my Purlins. Okay, so just zoom in. Now, for you to place your Purlins there, make sure that you move your UCS from down there to the top there. So what I'm going to do, I'll just type UCS on my keyboard, enter. Okay, you see that I can move up, or another option, let me just escape. Another option is to use a tool. I think this is the easiest one. Just click there, then go to the UCS, click there, and you are able to, to click that to UCS at the object, so that if I just click there, then I want to place my UCS on top there. It's just a matter of selecting on top there. Where is the UCS? Once again, make sure that I see it. I can't see it here, so click on the UCS once again. Select the top there. Okay, I'll select there and make sure that you pick, the vertical one, select on it and right click. So you see that the UCS has moved down up to here, so that you can now place your purlins at an angle. Okay, as you can see, we have the UCS there. Then I'll just minimize this one, and for the purlins, just next to the bottle or the gable, we have the purlins right there. So I'll pick on the purlins, and then for the purlins, it's just a matter of picking the members where I want to place your purlins. I'll select that member, and this one, and right click. If I want to select a reference point, I'll just click on no. Additional reference beam, I'll simply select no. Okay, so I'll just give it a bit of time, and you see that I have my purlins right there. So let me simply first of all close this one and hold the shift and the wheel on my mouse to orbit. So you see that I have the purlins there. Now what I need to do is to change the member there, and also to remove that one, and also to adjust the spacing. So all you need to do is to simply double click that box there, so that you go to the properties. Okay, then what I need to do, I need to go to the to the sections. Okay, you see that I have these sections, but I don't want to use this section. I want to use a C, so a channel, which is a C channel. I'll just click there, then just drag down. Again, this is the database. Depending on the region where you are, you should be able to to pick any section that you want. But for me, I just want a C channel. I can use that one. As you can see, that is my C channel, and maybe 8 by 2 is okay. I can go to that next arrow there and pick a different one. Maybe I want to pick 100 by 2, okay, or a 120 by 2. I'll select on it. You see that it's going to change. Then the alignment, as you can see, everything is there. I'll go to the next one, which is the alignment. I think I'm not going to change anything here, except that I'll remove the offset so that my purlin can sit right on top of the rafter. So from here, it's offset a bit, so I'll remove that offset. Okay, and then it sits on top here. Then anything else here, I think I don't have to change anything except for the overhang, this direction and the other direction. So I just want to have an overhang of 500. Click here, another overhang of 500 on the other side. As you can see, I have the overhang at the end right here. Let me simply pan it and zoom in. You see that we have the overhang right there. Okay, if I go to the distances, okay, we have the start distance, intermediate distance. Okay, so the start distance, as you can see, that is number 1. I can increase this one. Maybe 200 is okay. If I want, I can start with 300. Then just click there. Then the intermediate, which is the spacing, maybe 1200. Then click. See that it's going to adjust like that. All right, we have the intermediate. Then we have the last to if. This is the one at the end there. You see that I need to change this one. Maybe let me start with 1000. It's going to introduce one member right here. But 1000 is too much because I have to move it inside a bit. Let me say 800 and click. Yeah, you see that we have the member right there. Okay, then we have this member, which is the eaves beam. I don't think I need it. I think I need to go to that one and simply uncheck that one. You see that it disappears. Okay, so as you can see, we have the purlins right there. If I just zoom in there and hold my shift and my wheel on my mouse, see that I'm able to orbit. Okay, now before I mirror these, I just want to make sure that I have all the connections, so that once I mirror, then everything will be there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to start with the connections. I'll start with this one. Mind you, a connection which will be here where we have 2 members is different from the connection which will be here. So I'll start with this one. I'll go to the connection vote. Okay, then there is a dedicated connection under the cord rod. You can see that I'm checking here, Purlin's code rod is right here. Then within here, we have the single and the double. I want to use this one, single Purlin. As you can see there, we have a single Purlin. I'll select on that and then pick the beam, right click, and pick the Purlin, right click. Wait for it. You see that we are going to have our Purlin right there. If I simply orbit a bit there, it's just a matter of adjusting a bit. Again, once again, I shouldn't have maintained the code, that one to be under the code rod. I'll simply cancel that one, close this one a bit and undo. I want to show you that if you want to maintain the colors, you can simply make sure that instead of changing physical, I'll simply go back to standard. Standard is going to pick the different colors for the bolts and also the plates. So once again, I'll go to the connection vod. Then we are right there. Then the single Purlin right there. Then pick the beam, right click, pick the Purlin, right click. This time you see that we have the colors properly applied. Even if I did that at first, I could have simply selected the bolts and the plates and changed the colors, but I want it to be automated like this. Okay. So now it's just a matter of changing these properties. Let me drag this one here and minimize this one. So I just need to change these properties. If I zoom in a bit somewhere here, as you can see, it looks good. So I'll start with the plate clit. Okay, so plate thickness, if I want to change, I can, maybe to 12, can do that. All right, as you can see, it changes. From here, if I want, I can use total so that it just gives you different ways of how to manipulate, this. So I'll use the total so that these two are activated. We have the width and the height. The height, from what we remember, this one was, I think, 100. Let me try 100 so that it can flash with the top there. Then click. Actually, was it 150? Again, you can simply play with the figures. Maybe 120, maybe it was 120. Yeah, this one was 120. So as you can see, then the width, I don't want this to be bigger than this one. Maybe let me change it to 150. Then you just click there. You can go ahead and adjust it, but for now I'll just leave it like that. From the look of things, it's flashing right there. So that is the plate clit. The Purlin, I'm not adding any Purlin there. Then the board dimensions. From here, we have the edge and the top, but the board dimension, first of all, I'll leave it. I'll go to the actual boards and make sure that you set it according to the design. Maybe I just want to use 12mm boards. Yeah, just like that. I'll leave it there. I'm happy. Then go back to those board dimensions and the number of boards. I just want to have one right there. Click anywhere else. You have it there. If I go back to the boards, I can change it to 16. As you can see, it changes. Okay. Then once you do that, I just want to move this board up a bit and change the rib stiffener. So if I go to the stairs, the rib stiffener first of all, which is the one which is right here. Okay, that is a rib stiffener. I'll create the rib. I'll leave it the way it is. And I just want to change number 4 and 7 from here. If I just want to have 25 here so that I can have not the offset, sorry, I'll just put a 0. This one here, 25, and another one here, 25. Then click outside. You see that you have that chamfer on the rib stiffener. This is how I want it to be. Then I'll go back to the dimension and simply push this board up. If you want, you can leave it the way it is. Okay. The edge distance, we have 8 and 5 from there, maybe from 5 there. If I simply increase this one, maybe reduce this one to 40. Am I supposed to increase? Okay, I'm supposed to increase maybe 60 there. Then enter, you see that it's up there. So I'll simply close this one, see that I have that, connection there. Then I'll go to the next one. You see how we are going to copy the other one so quickly. I'll simply go to the next one. They go to the connection vod. This time, you see that we are under the Purlin's code rod. I'll use the double one, okay? 2 Purlins, not this one. I want double Purlin with splice plate, whatever. I'll select on it. Then I'll pick the beam, right click, pick that one, right click, and pick the last one and right click. And you see that you are going to have the connection. So again, the properties are the same. just like the way we changed the other one. So I'll go to this one, edge distance, total. I think I remember this one was 120. Okay, this one was 150 because these are the same properties except that this one is double. Then if I go to the rib stiffener, remember what we did? We just changed this one to 25 to create that chamfer. Okay, just like this. As you can see, it's right there. Then I'll go to the bolt. So you see, if you just know where you're supposed to go, it will be easy for you and you are not going to waste a lot of time in trying to change. Remember this one, I just had one. Then if I go to bolts, I think I changed this one to 16. And the last one, under the dimensions, remember that I changed this one to 60 and simply click there. You see that it's now similar to that one, and simply close and minimize that one. So you see that it looks nice. Okay, now I would simply copy these connections even on the other side. So I'll go back to that tool there, then make sure that you go to this under the tools. Okay, then select the joint copy multiple. I'll select on it. Then I'll select just one element within the connection. I'll select on it and right click. Then I'll select that beam and that beam, then right click. Once you do that, then you need to select the purlins there, that set of purlins and this set of purlins, because we just want to apply the connections at the end. Then once you select, you simply right click and you see that you are going to have all the connections, as you can see. Again, that's the same process that you need to do for this one. Pick that one to copy the connection. What I will do is to select just one part within the connection there, then right click. Once you do that, select the two beams where you want the connection to be, then right click once again. Then you need to select, one line of the, for the purlins and that other line, then enter and pick the remaining line. So I'll start with this one and select, the purlins there. This is one set of the purlins for that code for the connections there, and select this other set. Okay, just like that. Then okay, once you do that, you right click, then the other one will work for the other, that rafter and this rafter. So I'll select this set once again, select all the rafters there and right click, and you should be able to have all the connections, as you can see. So copying connections in Advance still are very easy to do. So you see that if I try to orbit and zoom in, my connections are right there. Now at this time, I'll simply mirror these connections on the other side. Okay, I don't need to start recreating this. I'll simply mirror this one. Again, I have a dedicated tool right here. If I just click there and go to the transform elements, the one we use to copy our frames there, then for this one, what you are going to use, of course, is to select all those members. I'll click on select objects. And I just want to select, these, the purlins, okay, and also the connection. So I'll just select the purlins like that. I could have selected one and then right click and select similar, but I can still select them one by one since the model is not so big. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. So then right click. You see that we have 81 objects, but make sure that you pick include additional connections. That way, even the connections will be added. Now, this is a mirror too. So I'm going to pick mirror. Once you do that, pick the 3D. Once you pick the 3D, then go to that little box and select on it. Then you should be able to specify how you want to mirror object. I'll simply orbit like this. Then I can pick my first point. That is the first point there, that is the mirror axis, then the second point, and then simply pick the third point right here. Okay, I hope I haven't missed it, but even if I miss it, I can simply go back. Then preview. Has it worked? Let me give it a bit of time. As you can see, I have mirrored everything. If I just minimize that one, orbit like that, you see that all the connections and the purlins are there. So when it comes to mirror, make sure that you pick 3 points, okay? That way you should be able to mirror. So the other thing we are going to do is to create our claddings on top here. remember, if we go to what we did previously there, okay, you remember that we created some claddings. But sorry, you see that I haven't finished the command. Sorry for that. This is still under the preview. I went to the preview, everything's okay. Simply click on OK, then you're going to finish that command. Okay. Right, so I'll orbit like that, and let me simply now, create my cladding here. And then to create your cladding, you should first of all place your UCS on top there. Then I'll simply go to that tool there, then click on UCS, and I'm going to use that tool, UCS at object, select on it, then zoom in and orbit, and make sure that you pick the top part there, and make sure that you pick the vertical one, just like that. Then right click, then the UCS is right there on top, okay, as you can see. Okay, yeah, it's correct. So the claddings can be found just next to to the tools here. We have the portal frame, the Purlins, the next cladding. Now for the cladding, what you need to start with is to define the area before you place the actual cladding. So we have the first two, define area, the second two, create claddings, the one in the middle is to create the opening. So I'll simply use the first two there. The supporting beams, let me say yes, or simply no. I don't want to pick the supporting beams, but I want to use the rectangle. Then for this one, I'm just going to pick maybe that point and simply drag it. I'm defining the area and simply pick, the other point at the end there. Okay, so do I have that area? Of course, the area is right there. Then I'll go back to the actual cladding and create the cladding. But before you do that, now just play with the cladding there. You see that I can select on it and simply move it where, how far you want, the claddings to cover. I'll not waste so much time on this one. I'll simply show that you can manipulate these maybe up to somewhere here. Once you are happy with the area which we want to cover with the claddings, then go to that tool, the cladding tool. Okay, just give it a bit of time. It's going to apply the cladding within that area, as you can see from here. Again, you can see that I'm on the, standards. That's why the color is like that, but I would prefer to have, a different color. As you can see, it's picking the standard color there. Okay, so I'll leave it the way it is. I can change the color later. So you see that we have the cladding there. If I want, I can go back to the cladding. You see that box covers the cladding. I can double click there. And this is where you're going to change the properties. Now, depending the region where you are and the standards that you are using, you can pick a different one from here, the cladding, but I'm not going to change this. I'll leave it the way it is. Okay, so all the properties are okay. Additional offset, if you want to move the cladding, you can. Okay, overlapping, if you want to control the overlap somewhere here in the middle there, you can change. But I'm happy with the defaults there. You can pick the cladding of your choice. I'll simply close it, and you see that the cladding is right there. You can simply mirror this one or create the cladding on the other side. And this is the method that you use to even create claddings on the sides here. Okay, just set the UCS there, then create that area and pick the cladding. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me in this wonderful tutorial, and make sure that if you like what I'm doing on this channel, subscribe to this channel so that you motivate me to do more and more.